What's going on, guys? It's your boy Isaac Parks. Today we're doing something beyond special. There's a lot of different styles of punts with a lot of different levels of toughness, right? You got your easiest, which is like the drop punt. You just bring the nose down like this and you kick it, get that little end over end spin like that. Pretty easy style of punt. You've got the Louie is up there with the drop punt. Pretty easy. This time we're gonna hold a little bit out, a little inside, kick it back across our body. Get a little bit better distance, a little better hang. That's like your bottom tier. Next, you've got the spiral. The punt that most people know, right? Hold the ball flat, kick it through that panel, and you just, nice and easy, one and done, right? Beautiful spiral. That's what you're gonna see 90% of times NFL punters are gonna do. It's what you're gonna see in games. Open field punts, that's your go-to ball. But today, we've got our tier 10, the absolute hardest punt to hit. And I'm gonna give you a tutorial in 3 easy parts, okay? It is the inverse spiral punt. So instead of us holding the ball normally, smacking up through here to see that ball spin, go nose over and fade down to our right. This time, we're going to inverse the grip, right? Punt it so it goes and looks like the opposite foot spiral. If you do it right, this might take me a couple takes. This is a very hard punt to do. If you do it right, it should look like this. That's close, that's the miss hit. Just like that. Oh, only 2 takes. It's not bad. This is an insanely hard punt to do, right? 9 times out of 10, if you have people flip the grip on their ball, they're gonna miss-hit it for 100 times in a row and never even get close to a spiral. But today with this tutorial, you're gonna get really close, okay? Starting off with tip number 1 for it. Part number 1, the grip, okay? The grip is interesting because typically with a spiral, we're gonna hold it right here, right? Holding the back of the ball. Obviously with the inverse spiral, we're gonna wanna go on the opposite side. That's the easiest place to hold it. For me, I think about choking up on the ball a bit more than being back here, because A, you're gonna get a little bit better grip. Your thumb and your pinky are doing most of the gripping a little bit under this first lace. Now, one thing you wanna be careful with is how much tilt. I think a lot of guys will try to go here and you're gonna get full on banana almost every time. I like to straighten it out a little bit. Just be nice, gentle. I'm thinking 1 o'clock to maybe 12:30 with my grip. I'm not going anything crazy. I'm not gonna try to go full 3 o'clock over here. We're going just a nice little 1 o'clock grip. This way, as you're looking at it from the front, it's just a nice, subtle line that we have here with nothing ridiculous. Almost just put it in your hand like you're gonna do a lefty punt and then just switch hands and try to keep the grip the same. Next thing we're gonna wanna do, right, is line this up so the laces are right over our foot. This is just basic stuff. It might sound like a regular punting tutorial, but once we get into the swing, that's gonna be the real hard part here, okay? But this is just gonna set you on the right path with your grip. So the laces are right over my foot, but obviously now my foot's creating a cross section with those laces instead of how it normally would, which is kind of matching them. So now that we have this, here's where we're gonna get into the hard part of this punt specifically, all right? Typically a punter swing, whether you want it to or not, is you're gonna come up and around. As we swing, we're gonna come here with our punt, right? This is why we have a little bit of turn in with our laces, so that way as we come around, we are matching our foot to that ball. The hard part about this is if we do that with this grip, what's gonna happen is we're gonna come here and we're gonna shank it off the side of our foot like that. That is absolutely not what we wanna do. So what we have to be thinking of is driving our knee up and out like this. Some coaches teach a concept called the power zone right punt, where from the point where you catch it to while you're kicking, everything is fading out and you swing up and around. We're using that I personally don't use that in my regular punts, but we're gonna use that concept for this style of punt because our right leg has to imitate a left leg swing. And a lefty is gonna be coming through to their right eye. So as a righty, we have to bring our knee up and around like this as we're swinging. So it's a very weird concept to get, but one more time, I'm thinking about bringing my knee here to here, as opposed to bringing my knee just straight through, even a little bit to my left eye. So now, let's take a look at how this plays out. I'm gripping here, thumb kind of in the back, nice subtle angle, and now I'm just gonna go through one walking step. I'm gonna bring it up and try to get through, and that's just a common miss hit. That would be like almost like a half turn, but we're gonna do a full set and just kind of coach you through it, so that way you can see a lot of the miss hits that I hit, and you can self-coach on what you need to be doing instead. Okay, now that I did the basic demonstration, we're gonna get to the self-coaching part. So I'm gonna go through a set, I'm gonna be hitting a ball, telling you what I think based on the quality of that ball, so that way if you hit something similar in your sets, you can think the same thing. So here we go, getting lined up. I always get my hand position first because we're still learning this punt. All right, get it set. It's not a bad hit right there. There you go. That's probably about 43 to 40 yards. I'd imagine it's maybe a 4-0. I really don't know, but that just gives you a good idea of where that was. Not a bad strike. So now we're gonna build on consistency. Okay. Go get it lined up one time just so you can envision it. One thing I'm also thinking about is I'm going for this panel right here. So I'm trying to bring my leg in a sweeping motion where I hit just barely on this side of the stitches. That's not a bad hit right there too. Got a nice little look to it. That's 50 yards. That's a 50-yard punt with a lefty spin. You could totally catch somebody off guard. I didn't expect to be this consistent on them. Hopefully I hit some miss hits so that way we can work through them together. Line it up. From the front, this is what my angle looks like. This is just a good check. Make sure you're doing the right things. There you go, that's a miss hit. Okay, that's perfect. So right there, I try to crush it, right? I'm ready to try to put a little bit more oomph into it. I'm trying to see how big I can get it to go. And all that happened is I came and brought my foot just barely around to right here. Now my foot lines up like this against the ball. That's very bad. We don't want to see this ever. So I really got to make sure I keep with the sweeping motion. Let's try to add some power, but keep sweeping through it. Miss hit right there. Okay, push this right hip forward. Got too much to the front of the ball. That would look like it's a regular half turn if it was flipped. So let's see, we got 3 more. We're just gonna keep building, keep learning, and keep understanding this new style. Like 40 yards. We got a nice little breeze going this way. This is my best open field punting wind. With this new drop, it's actually kind of messing with it a bit because it pushes it further inside, which is really hard for a righty to hit, as you can imagine. All right, last 2. We're just gonna go for nice and smooth here. From here, thinking about getting under to this pin. Make sure I don't drop it too far inside. Here we go. That's not bad. Good little spiral. Hit the trash can. Oh. About 48, 49 yards, probably 4.3, 4.4. I think ideally if you want this ball to be playable, you want to get to a consistent 45, 4.5 with it if you want to bust it out in a game. If you can feel good, just smooth stroking 45, 4.5, which is very realistic, I think there's a real chance you could bring this type of spiral out in a game. But for right now, obviously I'm not there yet. Okay, last one. Let's end on a good one, huh? Oh, it's a miss. That's all right. That's another one of those half turns. As always, I hope you learned something today. Go out and try it. I know a lot of you guys will try my random suggestions, so give it a shot. Shoot me some film on my Instagram @IsaacPunt. Okay, let me know how you're doing with it. Brad Robbins smokes this ball regularly, so it's something I think we might start seeing in the future, but have an amazing day. Peace.